Hey everybody, yeah. Hey everybody, welcome to the very, very first live edition of the Ronline Report. And to kick it off, none other than an excellent guest all the way from Florida, young man with a hell of a future ahead of him, already done very well so far, Nick Walker, the mutant Nick Walker. How are you, Nick?
I'm good. How are you? And thank you for having me on.
Yeah. I was we thought we were live a second ago, so I'm gonna repeat what I said.
Yeah.
John Lennon got in trouble in 1966 for saying the Beatles are now more popular than Jesus. But based on the first quarter of this year, I think you were more popular in the bodybuilding world. Your name came up a lot more than even Big Ramy, because man, you captured the imagination, especially at a time when we didn't have the Arnold Classic. We didn't have much going on. And the whole talk for weeks, months was Blessing versus Nick. And I'm only putting his name first because it's alphabetically first. But I want to get one conspiracy theory about that out of the way, and then the Blessing Nick thing is done. Some people think that you guys planned that ahead of time, that you guys got together and said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we had this feud between each other? It started going back and forth and people get all hyped up. Any truth to that at all, Nick?
No truth. This is not planned at all.
I didn't think so. So we're less than 4 weeks out from New York Pro, which will be your second pro show. You were brave enough to jump right into the pro ranks last year. I think it was 5 weeks after you turned pro. How many weeks was it?
6 weeks. It was 6 weeks. Yeah.
6 weeks. Still, these days, very, very common for guys to sit out a full season, sometimes even 2 full seasons between turning pro. You've had some time to reflect on it. It definitely seemed like it was the right call to make. But looking back, what was it about jumping in so fast that was important to you?
Me and Matt, we just thought we were ready. We thought we were ready to hit the pro ranks. And, with California being like right after, he didn't want me to do that one simply because he just wanted me to kind of enjoy the pro win and let it sink in a little bit and just have, a little more time to get even better for Chicago, because California was like a week after North American. So there really isn't too much time to get better within a week. I mean, yeah, you can, but nothing like drastically. Yeah. So we wanted to make, some decent improvements within the 6 weeks that we had. And, I think we did that and we ended up getting fourth. So.
Yeah. I mean, because I wasn't at North American, but I looked at all the stage photos and I was in Chicago, and you did make a lot of progress in 6 weeks time. I don't know if the photography wasn't that, didn't tell the whole story from North American, but seemed to me like you got fuller, rounder, and your condition came in a lot in those 6 weeks. Did the condition definitely improve?
Yeah. And it's funny you said, because I was definitely fuller, but I was also lighter at Chicago too.
Wow. Yeah. What an illusion. What'd you weigh at the 2 shows, if I can ask?
It wasn't a big difference. Like, I think North Americans, I was like 246, 247. And then Chicago, I was like 244, 245.
Yeah, and it's crazy. You say it was a couple pounds lighter. You looked a few pounds bigger. So that's how the illusion works.
Well, luckily, since it was 6 weeks, I think like the final 3, maybe 4 weeks going into Chicago, probably 3, because we just did a show. The body was already, in shape and in a groove, so we were able to, pull everything back a little bit as far as the cardio goes. The intensity on that a little bit, not do a drastic amount, and just kind of feed into the show and let my body have a more fresher look. And that's that. And I think that gave the conditioning factor. I think that's what helped make that look better at Chicago as well. And I just think overall I had a fresher look as well.
Yeah. And anybody who follows you on Instagram or on your YouTube channel, you've put on some decent size again. You've made some more improvements since that was October, I believe. So it's been over 6 months. But where do you see the most improvements? Where do you and Matt see the most improvements since then?
So my legs have definitely gotten better, especially in the outer sweep area, which is what judges have told me to work on. I do think my chest has gotten a lot better, and my back.
Okay, cool. I want to get to some questions because this is the whole live format allows us to take questions, but I'm going to start with a few from the Muscular Development No Bull Forum, and then we'll get into some from that are coming in right now. So George UK, competitor from the Masters competitor from the UK, well-known poster on our boards. This is a good question to lead off with. You've been selling T-shirts that say Squirt King and Ass Man. First of all, where'd you get the? I love the name, but where'd you get the idea for that?
Squirt King?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Does it mean what I think? What I think it means?
I think we should really talk about that on here, Ron.
This is a PG-13 show. We can
Yeah.
use the right terminology. Okay. Well, how the sales been going on the T-shirts?
Oh, really, really good. They were really good. We did like a pre-orders for a whole week, and it went really well. So I was happy about that.
Okay, that was his main question, sales. I think that's a catchy slogans. Howard, been on our forums forever. He wants to know, I'd like to hear a basic outline of the typical daily routine during the final 12 weeks. So what does a day look like for you right now?
Typically I get up, I take, all my morning vitamins that I need to take. I do my fasted cardio. I come home, I have my meal one. I basically chill, relax, have my second meal, which is my pre-workout meal. Wait about an hour, I go train. I train for about an hour and a half, give or take. And then I have my post meal at the gym. And then I come home, shower, have my next meal, relax, watch TV, have my next meal, relax, watch TV, have my last meal, and go to bed.
Yeah, it's not thrilling, guys. The life of a pro bodybuilder in prep, it's not the most exciting thing, but that's what it takes.
How being more like closer you get, it's like the more tired you become, and the less, like, I don't want to say lazier you become, because you still work hard, but like when you're done, when your training is done for the day, like you're done, like that, you're done.
Someone might ask about this anyway, but I want to know it because Jose Raymond's talked about it too. Is we see a lot of guys that are strong, use a lot of weight, but we don't see too many guys with a lot of weight with really good form. That's very rare. And I've watched you, and I'm a dick when it comes to form. I'm like, that guy's swinging too much, doing that, he's yanking. I can't say shit about your form. It's awesome. Is that a more recent thing that since you're working with Matt, have you always been really strict and controlled with your form?
I would say it was more Matt helped me with that. I never had, bad form. But he just helped correct a lot of certain things for me. And I pretty much, when I got with him like 2 years ago, it was almost like starting over for me as well, because that was like more higher volume training. Yeah. So with him, it's it's the more low volume. So for me, in order to correct everything, I just basically started from scratch and worked my way back up.
Yeah. So are you using as much weight or more than you were a couple of years ago with a little bit looser form?
No, if anything, I'm probably using less.
Yeah, it's still a lot of weight. It's doing the job, whatever, it's working. So let's get to a next one. Betty Una. It's Betty. Don't worry about how it's spelled. How much protein do you consume per day is his first question.
I don't know the total amount, but I do like 200 grams per meal right now, 6 times a day.
Wait a minute.
No. Like, wait.
That would be a lot of protein.
Which would be like 7 ounces, technically. Okay.
But like grams of protein per day.
Well, Matt weighs everything out in grams, so I don't know what.
Oh, so you don't try to get like, 350, 400 grams of protein you don't worry about it that way. You're going by meals. Okay.
Well, I just don't know what the total amount is. I don't really calculate it.
Clearly it's enough, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Cal, he's wondering another question. This is another number question. How many calories have you had to increase to add all the size the last 2-3 years?
I have no idea.
Well, do you eat a lot more now than you did like 2 or 3 years ago, or has it been consistent?
Yeah. I mean, I think because the amount of muscle you get on, even when you're in a deficit, you still have to eat more just to maintain a little of what you have.
Yeah. Okay. His next question was about the quads, which you just addressed, because your hamstrings are crazy. They remind me of Tom Prince. Remember him? You don't remember him, but he was amazing.
I remember Tom.
He was around for about 2 minutes as a pro, but he was really good. The quad sweep, that's something people typically think is just genetics, and there's not much you can do about it. But you're not gonna buy into that and just be a defeatist about it. How have you and Matt targeted the outer sweep and brought them up?
So I think what really helped overall for me was, even like when I would use a leg press or even a squat, for example, I would actually focus putting the pressure on my outer feet and really drive up that way, and you would feel your complete outer sweep.
Do you have your feet, a lot of us believe you have to have your feet very close together. Do you find that, or are you able to target the outer
Oh, I
quads?
go quarter width, but I turn my toes out a little bit and I make sure I really go deep.
Okay, this is important because that's one of the things so many guys lack is quad sweep. A lot of guys have decent size, but there's nothing.
There's nothing,
straight up and down. It's like a tree trunk. Last question from him says, it'll be great to see you compared to Hassan. Hopefully you compete with Rami soon. Well, that's going to be in October, correct?
Yeah. October. I'll be standing on stage with Rami.
Yeah, I have no doubt that's going to happen. That's a call out. I can't wait for that call out, actually, by the way, because, there's not, I don't want to call you a mass monster because that makes it sound like you don't have aesthetics, and you do. Jose's point that out. He says, guys, he's not just a mass freak. He's actually got, look at his front double bicep. He's got the taper. He's got the shape and everything. But there's not a lot of really massive guys on the pro level anymore like there were years ago. And you're sort of bringing that freak factor back. I think, classic is great, men's physique is great, but a lot of people still want to see that the freakish size. That's bodybuilding.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it actually surprised me that you have so many young fans because I sort of got jaded. I thought all these young kids, they don't want to see muscles anymore. They just want to see, the spiky hair and the six pack, and they weren't interested in really big, full, thick muscles. But yeah, you must have a lot of guys writing you saying now they're going to get into bodybuilding.
I think deep down, like everyone wants, that physique that is, attainable, which is more, classic, of course. But at the end of the day, I believe if majority of people still want to be the mass monster.
Yeah. I mean, the ones that say they don't, I'd say a lot of them are just lying. They just don't.
I agree.
They don't think they can, so they say, I don't want to look like that.
Exactly.
You do want to look like that. You just don't believe that you can.
Let's be honest. Anyone that truly got into the sport from the beginning, whether you're physique, classic, or bodybuilding, odds are the first person you saw was a mass monster and wanted to look like that.
Right. Who was it for you, Nick?
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler. There you go. Well, you're certainly in the Jay Cutler mold, if that's, I think that's appropriate to say. All right, Jen, do we have some questions that have come in from that little thing on the side where people ask questions, whatever that's called? Jen Geraci, Chief Operating Officer of Advanced Research Media, Umbrella Corporation for Muscular Development and all that good stuff. Not the Umbrella Corporation from Resident Evil, not at all, not like that. But anything up yet, Jen? We are checking, Ron. Okay. Oh, you guys, come on now, don't be shy. In the meantime, I'll ask you, Nick, what foods when you're dieting, is there anything that you really crave that you look forward to eating when you're able to eventually?
Not really. I do, like, you talking like junk food wise?
Yeah, anything that you can't eat in prep, I should put it that way.
Probably cookies.
Cookies, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite brand or type of cookie?
So I'm actually with, excuse me, a company that's called Fat Paulie's Cookies.
Okay.
They make phenomenal cookies. I can't get enough of those. And also Matt Jansen's wife's cookies. They're phenomenal.
I've heard a few people rave about those, believe it or not. Like Nathan Dasha.
So after actually, she made me like a whole big tray of cookies. Like, and this is a lot of cookies, man.
Yeah.
I ate the tray of cookies.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. You can't just have one, and then you keep in, and then you realize the whole entire tray is gone.
So these are like normal sized cookies.
Yeah, they're not huge. I mean, they're a good sized cookie, yeah, but they're not huge by.
Yeah, because my cookie dealer cookies are like the size of a brick.
I half of one of those, and I'm done.
Yeah, you eat a couple of those, and you're not going anywhere for a long time. All right, Jen, I think we have a question.
Yes, we do. This question comes from Balked Knife. Nick, what is your favorite protein source?
If we're talking prep, I like preferably 99% fat-free ground turkey. But off-season wise, I like to eat a lot of chicken.
Breast or thigh, or does it matter?
Breast, preferably.
Gotcha.
Because I don't eat fish. I can't eat fish.
Hmm.
And for me, like the 99% ground turkey is as close as you're gonna get to that. So
When you say you can't eat fish, you're allergic to it, or you just find it disgusting?
both. Both. Every time it looks disgusting, and every time I eat it, I end up throwing up. So I'm just like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, you do coaching, so you must get a lot of people when you ask them, like, are there any foods you won't eat? The one thing I always hear from a lot of people is fish. Don't give me any fish.
Yeah, that was the first thing I said to Matt when we started 2 years ago. I was like, don't ever give me fish. I don't eat fish.
Yeah, wow. All right, Jen, we have another one?
Well, we don't exactly have a question, but we do have a compliment. This comes from fellow IFBB pro, Natalie Coho.
Quello.
Quello, sorry. Sorry, Natalie. She says, champ.
Was there a flexing arm emoji too?
Trophies.
Trophies? Okay, that's even better. Yeah. She's another young force on the IFBB Pro
A
League.
little younger than me, right?
Oh, much. I think
I'm
she's only
like 23 or 24.
24, I want to say. She was competing at 16. I think she turned pro at 17.
Yeah.
Was-
She's been Olympia a few times now.
She's been runner-up. I think she's going to get mad because I don't remember. I'm pretty sure she's won the Arnold, the Miss International.
She did the Arnold, I remember that.
Yeah, and she's been second at so many at that show and at the Olympia a few times. Very, very good. But,
Yeah.
All right, Jen, we have anything else?
Looks like we have a shy chat room.
Oh, you guys, come on. Don't be shy. It's Nick Walker.
Don't be shy.
And just a
Yeah.
reminder to our chat room, if you would like to ask questions to Nick, please feel free to use Super Chat or join the channel members. Or if you are a channel member, please ask your question at any time.
So, Nick, you've probably done like Instagram live Q&As with fans before, have you?
Yeah. No, I haven't really gone live with them, but like I have just put like a Q&A up and I would answer them.
Okay. Because I was watching one with Bumstead a month or so ago, and he was taking calls live on the air, and almost everyone that called him, there was like a whole 30, 45 seconds where they were just like, oh my God, it's really you. Have you gotten that reaction either, probably not on the phone, but like in person? What's it like dealing with people who look up to you that much when, you're probably thinking, guys, I'm just me. I'm just Nick.
Well, that's exactly what I say. I'm just a regular guy like everyone else, but at the same time, it's really cool and it's really humbling to know that, people look up to me as, some inspiration and motivation. And, that's for me, that's why that helps keep me going on like days where I just kind of feel sluggish. And then, I remember I have people that look up to me and, they inspire to look like me. So I appreciate a lot and it means a lot to me.
Yeah, it's so good to have someone like you that's young and has this big fan base, because if we don't have a lot more people following the sport and getting into the sport constantly, there is no sport. It goes away.
Right.
I've seen it happen with other sports that they basically don't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
And you're, whether you know it or not, you're playing an important part of keeping the sport going.
Well, that's why I started a YouTube. I'm trying to get that put out as much good content as I can. Obviously you see my Instagram all the time. So that's important to me. Not just for the the Instagram fame, but like I just want to continue to inspire, motivate people that, especially ones that feel like they can't achieve something or they get put down a lot. Like I want to be the guy to, tell them otherwise.
Yeah. It's you get some of the people, especially the older bodybuilders will say, well, why don't you just work in silence and you shouldn't be posting all the time and, just hide away in a gym for a year and then pop up once a year like Dorian did. But, I think there's something to be said for that, but wouldn't that be doing a disservice to all the people that want to follow you?
I think so now, but people have to remember, back in those days, like you could do that. There was no social media. There was not, like, all you had was, the guest appearances and the magazines and things like that.
Yeah.
When you have social media nowadays and you don't post, like they don't know you and nor do they care. So if you were that guy that, came out of the woodworks once in a show and they were like, oh my God, who's this guy? But they can't find you anywhere, you will be forgotten.
Yeah. It's another thing is competing fairly regularly is important too. And I see a lot of people turn pro. Like I said, they'll hide away for a year or 2 years. Then they might pop up and do one show and they don't win or something. They go away for another year.
Yeah.
You know, even if you're a young guy, like you're still in your 20s, this career is not that long in the grand scheme of things. You don't have like 30, 40 years to screw around with. You know, do you intend to start competing more often, especially if you do well this year? Let's say you win New York Pro and go to the Olympia. Would you be one of those guys who only does the Olympia every year, or would you want to be out and about and seen more, compete a little more often?
I think because I'm still in the beginning phases of my career, I would probably compete a little more than not right now. Yeah. So like, for example, if I win New York, yeah, I'm done. And I'm just going to wait till Olympia. You know, and if it perhaps I get top 5, I will probably want to do another show just because I want to keep getting my name out there, keep getting the practice of being on, you know, stages, you know, and eventually if I hit a point where it's like, you know, every Olympia I'm getting, you know, 4th or 3rd or whatever, I keep moving up, then I'll be like, let's take the year now, Olympia only, and that's it, you know, because I still want to do the Arnold Classic. Like, I still want to travel to certain places and compete and stuff. So those are things I want to do. And, you know, once I get them done, you know, and I'm still doing, you know, placing higher at Olympia every year, there will come a point where I'm just like, we're going to do the Olympia and that's it.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. But, you know, explain to people who don't, there are fans who want to see you in every show just because they're fans. They want to see you compete. It's exciting to them, but, you know, I don't think a lot of them really comprehend, you know, how taxing the toll it takes on your body to be in prep for months and months and start prep over and over again in the course of like 1 year.
It's very taxing. Like, I'll be honest, like even after Chicago, I was not physically, but mentally I was pretty taxed. Yeah. But for me, it doesn't take long to come back. Like, technically, if you think about it, I started prep for New York in January.
Wow.
So I only had like a little 2-month break. But for me, like, that's kind of all. I just need like the mental aspect of knowing I'm not in prep. Yeah. And if I want to go out to eat, I can do this. If I want to go out somewhere, I can, like, I don't have to be, because when I'm in prep, there's nothing on the outside of me. Right. I see one way and one way only, like nothing matters. So when I get that little bit of a break where I can do certain things, it doesn't take long for me to be like, all right, I'm ready to get back in prep.
Looks like we have the question, Jen. Awesome. Let's hear it.
The question we have comes again from Balkan Knife, who is our pro channel member, newest member. He wants to know about your life after bodybuilding, Nick.
Oh boy.
Oh man. I haven't even thought that far, I'll be honest.
That's a few years away, right?
Hopefully many years away. Yeah. No, honestly, like I'm hoping to have a clothing line that I'm going to be starting soon, take off extremely well. I'm hoping to get, you know, in deep business with Revive and Raw, and not just an athlete, but join the business side with them. And that's, you know, pretty much where I want to take things. I'm not the average dude that wants to, you know, start a supplement company or have my own gym and things like that. Like, that would be cool, but I feel like those things are really hard to maintain. Yeah. If they fail, not saying it will, but, you know, I'd rather join a business side of something and have a good stable career afterwards.
Yeah. You know, it's important if you ever do want to do stuff like that, because I talk to Leverone, Kevin, all the time, and he says it's the years that he spent competing and traveling and really making bonds and connections with all these fans that set him up later in life to be able to have the success with the supplement company. And, you know, he had a gym too, but it's those things. So this fan base of yours now, there's probably going to come in time when those are going to be you know, loyal customers of whatever it is you're involved
for sure.
with.
Like, I'm not saying I won't do any of those things, but right now that's not where my head's at.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of focused on trying to be the best bodybuilder in the world at this point.
Exactly. Yes. Pretty much.
Jen, you just hold up your hand when we have another one, or yeah?
At this time, chat's still a little shy, but
okay, that's okay.
I'm sure they're going to be coming up very soon. And we know that Nick's got a long career ahead of him.
Absolutely. So, Nick, what made you pick New York Pro? Is it just the aspect that it's the after the Olympia, it's the second biggest show?
Not just that, but I mean, obviously I live in Florida now and the show's in Florida, but to me, that's like my home show technically. Even though I live in Jersey, like there's not obviously a pro show in Jersey. So that was like, that was like New York and Jersey is like Olympia, so to speak. And that's just a show like my entire family was, end up going to go to and watch. Right. And it's just, for me, it's one of those prestige titles that I just want to hold.
So you went to a bunch of New York pro shows, I'm assuming, right?
I actually never went to one.
You never went to one?
So this was, it's funny. So, and I broke one of my rules by going to the Olympia this past year, but I always said, until I turn pro, I will never go watch a pro show.
Wow.
And until I go to Olympia, I'll never go to an Olympia unless I'm in it.
Wow. But man, don't you want to go see the Olympia? Come on.
I did.
Yeah.
When I was in Orlando this last year.
Yeah. Are you glad you did?
Yeah, no, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I got to watch, my friend Sean Clear win.
Yeah.
I was with Matt the entire time. So no, it was a great experience. I'm glad I went. But that just means I have to be in it this year now.
Well, of course. So what was it? Why did you make that rule? Why did you not want to go to a pro show until you're in one?
I really don't know. It's just one of those things. Like, if I'm not in it, I don't want to go to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could see if you'd like, I know retired pros who they'll never go to a pro show again just because they can't stand seeing the guys up there and they miss being up there so much.
Yeah.
That to me, that makes more sense. But I would think you'd want to go see, okay, I'm, like mentally, I could beat that guy. I could beat that guy. This is what I need to work on if I want to beat this. That's one way I would probably approach it. But
well, I mean, I watch all the shows, afterwards on YouTube, or I see all the pictures, and even then, I say to myself, I can beat that guy.
Yeah, I forgot you don't have to go to shows anymore. We actually have computers and phones and all this stuff. I forgot we have technology now. Man. But so you're you sound really great for 3.5 weeks out. How's the strength? Does your strength stay pretty steady in prep, or do you go? Some people I know, it's crazy. They say they get stronger in prep. Where do you fall in that?
I'm pretty stable. Right now, I don't think my strength is going up. I still try to push as hard as I can with heavy weight, but honestly, I'm not looking to really get stronger. I'm just really looking to squeeze and contract the muscles as hard as I can at this point, and just bring out as much detail as possible.
Yeah, and look at your size and fullness. It clearly works. Why do you think so many? It's the fans more so, I think, than the athletes have this obsession with how strong you need to be. When I'm always saying that's powerlifting. That's this other sport, guys.
It's an ego thing,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could even take Jay Cutler as an example. In his later career, he didn't really lift heavy.
Right.
He stopped lifting heavy. It becomes a point where you have the size, and now you need to refine it. You need to bring out every detail as possible. But I do believe that the heavier weights is just an ego thing, and they think that's what's going to help them grow. Yeah. When in reality, it's probably hurting your joints more than actually putting on size.
Yeah, I have another pet theory about why the fans are so. I think a lot of fans, they don't have the genetics to ever have that look, the really freakish extreme mass. But a lot of people, if they train long enough and hard enough, they can get pretty strong. So I think they want to sort of compare themselves to the pros. That's why I think a lot of them are.
Like, I believe in working in all rep ranges. But I think what works best for me is staying in anywhere in the 10 to 12 range.
Yeah. I mean, you must be very cognizant of trying to prevent injury, because you're just starting out. You want to be doing this for a while.
Like, honestly, I really haven't done any like barbell movements this off season. I really haven't done much dumbbell work, really. Everything's been like Smith, or my gym now that I go to, Revive. They have like a bunch of the like Prime Fitness stuff now.
Oh, yeah.
So I just use it, and it feels good. I pumps my muscles. I feel strong on it. So I use mainly, like, I don't want to say all machines. I do use free weights, but I'm just more focused now where I'm at. And like I said, I have the size. Right. I'm going to get bigger regardless, just because genetically that's just how I'm built.
Right.
But if I can do it in ways without, having to worry about getting injured or do this or do that, I'm going to now at this point.
So what do you do in terms of other techniques? Do you do deep tissue on a regular basis,
Oh yeah,
chiropractic?
tissue done twice a week.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize everything else. Like, I mean, Cutler used to tell me he spent, I think when he was training for Olympias, he said he spent like $50,000 to $60,000 a year just on like the massages and chiropractors and things like that.
I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, but look, aside from the bicep thing that was kind of a freak accident, I see him all the time and he's strutting around like a 20-year-old. He's fine.
Yeah.
And then,
but it's also, beside even all that, I think that is also due to the way he trained in his later career. He didn't push heavyweight. He contracted the muscles, which needed to get done. And now he's in his later years and as far as we know, he's perfectly fine.
Yeah. He looks
no injuries, no pain. He's still training, having fun. And that's kind of where I want to be. Like, I don't want to be, retired, not training. I can't move, I can't walk, I can't do it. Like, I'm not.
So you hit, I know you hit almost 300 at one time. Your off season before this prep was about 285. Is that right?
Yeah. So when I started prep for New York this year, I was like 285-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I watch your videos. You seem like you're pretty functional. You can still move around. You don't seem uncomfortable, even when you're at a heavier weight. Do you do a lot of like stretching mobility? How do you keep from?
No,
I don't want to use those old words like muscle bound. Oh.
No, I should do more stretching, but no, I don't. The thing is, I've been getting up to this weight many times over the year that like 285 to me now is not a big deal. Like when I hit 300, I think last year or the year before,
yeah,
I was like, I didn't even want to get out of bed, being 285 this year, I was still very like ongoing, full of energy. My workouts never went bad. And just in this off season in particular, even though it really wasn't long, me and Matt just paid attention to how my body responded to certain things. We didn't push the food too drastically higher, and we also, allowed myself to have, like a cheat meal during the week, and then pretty much all day Sunday, because that was my leg day, so I chose that day. But to eat whatever I want, get back on track during the week, and my body just kind of adapted really good to that.
Yeah. It's funny how it's about a 15-pound difference made such a massive difference in how you felt. The 300, you were sluggish. I bet you felt like you just wanted to lay around like a slug.
But this was like the biggest and leanest 285 I was, for sure.
Yeah. Do you find it funny that 300 number is so important to so many people? Like you're big if you're over 300.
Number, they just want to see it. Yeah. That's all. They just want to. They don't care if they're fat. They just want to see that number 300.
Yeah.
I was like that too, but then I was like, I got to the point where it's like I would look in the mirror and I'm like, I don't look good, man.
Yeah.
Like, and of course you're not going to look good in the off season. You're not, but you should still look like a bodybuilder.
Right.
And this year, like I was very happy with how this off season, ended and where we started at prep. And basically up until, I think it was like 7 or 6 weeks out, we were still doing, I was still eating whatever I wanted on a Sunday.
Wow. So was this like a Juan Morel Sunday, or what would you?
No, no. Yeah. We just had like two cheat meals, and then like pretty much a high carb day for the rest of the meals. Pretty much, like I would get up, I'd have a big breakfast, and then I'd have a pre-workout meal, and then I would have my post, and then I would have like another cheat meal, which would probably be like a burger and fry.
Yeah. And
then my last 2 meals were just regular high carbs.
Okay. Yeah. Nobody eats like Juan Morel did on those Sundays. No. That was ridiculous.
His breakfast would be my entire day.
Yeah. I think it was 30,000 calories was the goal, I believe.
Yeah. No way, man.
Dude. But interesting. So 3.5 weeks out, you're how do you keep your energy up to do you rely on a lot of like, I don't want to say stim products, but Raw Nutrition, Revive, do they make products that help you keep your energy and concentration up? Because a lot of times people are brain dead at this point out from a show.
Oh, well, yeah, actually, they actually just came out with a product that's called Brain.
Oh.
And it's actually, it works. It's really, I've been taking that for the past 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
And it helps keep you very focused, keeps you on point. But energy wise, like I am low on energy. I won't lie. I don't feel horrible, but like I'm tired, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
But for me, this is like I always said, this is the fun part. Like I love this.
Yeah.
If you're at this point and you don't feel, shitty, then something ain't right here.
Yeah. But it's I competed for a while, and I remember that was the fun part because you're seeing your body change
Oh, I
every
know.
day. And it's so
Yeah.
that makes it seem like this is all the diet, the cardio. It actually seems like it's producing a result where the first few weeks of a diet, you're not seeing a lot going on.
No, you end up going through that phase where you kind of get like, you get a little leaner, but like softer at the same time because you're flat, right?
Yeah.
And you're like this, but now, like, even when like I eat, and I'm hungry and I'm starving, I'm like, oh, screw this, you know what I mean? Then I look in the mirror like the next morning and I see like different things going, and I'm like, yeah. It just makes it all worth it.
Now, are you one of those people? Some people, they prefer prep because they don't have much of an appetite in the off season. In off season, it's a job just trying to get the food down that they or their coach is trying to set for the day. I need to get this many calories, this many meals, and that. When prep, they feel fine because now they're actually hungry every time they need to eat, and they feel it's enough to satisfy them. But then they're hungry again in 2.5 hours later. Which one of those would you be?
I love to eat. I never had an issue eating. I love to eat, but I don't want to say I get to a point where I can't eat, but I'll say I'll get to a point where like I'm tired of eating.
Yeah.
And then I like to go to prep, and then I'm like, oh, this feels good. And then I'm like, I want to eat. Like, this sucks now. So like, I'm an in-betweener. I'm in between.
So I'm just curious, when you eat a meal like today, how long does it take for you to start feeling hungry again?
Like 5 minutes.
Really?
I literally ate just before we got on this podcast, and I'm starving.
Wow. And this is like a chicken breast, some rice. It's a substantial meal,
No,
right?
first meal I had lean ground beef, rice, and some macadamia nut oil.
Wow. It didn't fill you up at all, it sounds like.
Nope.
Yeah. But we have another question, Jen? Okay.
Okay, this question, we're going to take a few questions from the chat without Super Chat or channel members. And this question is for Dick. Why bodybuilding, and how did you first get into it?
Oh, this is okay. So if you want me to get in full detail, I will with this one.
Sure.
So this all stems even from my my earlier days as a childhood. In my childhood, I was a very athletic person. I played many sports growing up. But when I was younger, I was molested as a child.
Oh my God.
That kind of pushed me away from anything that involved like a team sport, so to speak. And I didn't want to be around anyone. I wanted to be alone. And I did get in, trouble back in the day. It's nothing crazy, just small stuff. I did resort to doing, a lot of drinking and drugs back in that day. And then I realized, I started to weight train a little bit, and it all started as a stress reliever more than anything. And then I realized once I started going to this family-owned gym, I remember it was called Extreme Fitness. It's not around anymore, which I'm very upset about. But they always told me I had, the genetics to compete. They were like, I was like 16, 17, I was like 230 pounds.
Wow.
Naturally, by the way. Yeah.
Wow.
They were like, you should compete. And I was like junior or senior in high school. I'm like, I don't know if I don't have the time for this. Like, no, I'm not. So it really got stuck into my head that I was like, okay, fine, I'll do one. And then after literally the day I graduated high school, I picked the show out, and then I started to prep for it. That prep went completely horrible, like the worst prep of my entire life. I weighed on stage that first show at 159 pounds, completely horrible. But I loved it. I love being on stage. I love that my mind was occupied the entire time. And I love that I had like a goal to look forward to. And it was a goal that was, yes, like I've learned that bodybuilding really isn't a lonely sport because you need a lot of support to do it. And, I have my coach and and they help tremendously, but you're still the one doing all the work. Yeah. It's all on you at the end of the day. And that's what I like most.
Perfect. Thanks for sharing. I never knew that the first part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible, man. Jen, do we have another one?
Yes, and thank you, Nick. That question came from David's Beast Mode, just to let you know.
Okay.
Another question is, when you qualify for the O, will you shut it down or will you continue to go into pro shows?
But after this year, if I win New York, I'm shutting it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all the questions, Jen?
Oh, we got a ton more.
Oh, let's get to those so we can, yeah, because we've already been going for a while. Let's answer those.
Okay, this comes from Dan the Fan.
Oh.
Have you tried my cookie dealer?
He's with a different cookie company.
Oh,
I have tried them. And I do think they are really good. They're just a little too big for me.
They're huge.
Like I'm a simple kind of man. I love just a cookie, man. A couple cookies. They're like a block.
Yes. Yeah. I think I weighed one time and it was almost a pound, just out of curiosity.
But they are really good. Like when you heat them up, you mix them with some ice cream. They are phenomenal. Just a little too big for me.
Gotcha. Next one, Jen. Jen. We have another one, Jen?
Whoop, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I have a question for you, Nick. This from me personally. I noticed you recently adopted a puppy.
Oh.
I did.
And that's a French bulldog?
Yes, it is. Little French. He's actually between my legs sleeping right now.
And his name is Sandow, right?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Can we see him? Would it be okay?
You gonna wake him up?
Well, don't wake him up if he's sleeping.
Too late now. Wake his ass up.
Come here, baby.
Sandow, guys, was Eugene Sandow. That's the same man that the Olympia trophy is based on. Strongman from many years ago. Look at that. Wow.
Oh, what a cutie.
My little Bubba.
I heard, is that the most popular breed in the US right now?
I think so, yeah.
It's either one or two. It's way up. Everyone wants Frenchies now. Yeah, look at him. Adorable.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, man. What do we got from the chat, Jen?
Well, this is a two-parter. This is both for you, Ron, and you, Nick. This question comes from Kevin Ghosh. Ron, do you know if Akeem Williams is doing the New York Pro? And if he is, what does Nick think of Akeem?
I don't believe he is. So that's my answer. Nick, I don't think, I follow him. He doesn't look like he's in any kind of prep right now.
No, I think he's going to jump into like a Tampa or a Chicago.
Yeah, yeah.
But to answer his question, I would love to go against Akeem.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I didn't get to stand next to him at Chicago. And I thought I should have at least once.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been a really cool comparison to see.
Right.
So I would, whether he would beat me again or not, I would just love to stand next to Akeem.
Yeah, you were in the call-outs together, but there was always somebody between you, I remember.
Yeah, majority of the time it was like, it did switch me to one point where it was Akeem, Justin, then me. Yeah. But I never got the chance to stand next to Akeem.
Yeah, it would have been, you stack up very well, I would say. Yeah.
I think that would have been a really, really cool comparison, especially for the audience to watch.
You'll get your chance. I know.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah. What else we got? What else we have, Jim?
I'm checking the chat right now.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. We got quite a little. Okay, guys, we're going to answer 2 more questions from the chat, and the rest of them have to be super chat, just to let you know, okay? Yep. All right, so question comes from Carlos Ruiz. Nick, what carb sources are you eating during prep?
I eat all rice, jasmine rice.
Oh, wow. Simple.
Good choice.
I just feel like that's the easiest and it digests extremely well for me.
Perfect. Easy to cook too. You throw it in that rice cooker. Forget about it. Done. Yep. All right. Next. Jen, can you hear me?
Sorry, I hit the mute button again. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good one. We're going to take this question from John Hopper. He says, "You're the best bodybuilder to come out of New Jersey in a while. Do you see any up-and-coming New Jersey guys that will turn pro and make an impact in the IFBB in the near future?"
Ooh, that's a good question. None that I'm aware of right now. I know there's a lot of good people that compete, but to really, really make a strong impact, I don't know of any at the moment.
Yeah. Who's your favorite pro that came out of New Jersey, Nick?
Jersey, think Gaspari come from Jersey?
Absolutely. Edison, New Jersey. Yep.
Like probably Gaspari.
Yeah.
I'm always a Guy Cisternino fan.
Guy, yep, Guy's good.
That's my buddy. And I worked with Jeff Long for a while, and I think he was really good coming up. So, I will say Jeff.
Yeah. When you talk to the older bodybuilders, they remember, New York has sort of become the mecca, the hotbed, but for a long time, it was New Jersey. New Jersey ran that whole area.
Yep.
John Kemper's gym. What's it called? What was it called?
Diamond
Gym. Yeah. I think there were every year 2 or 3 pros at least came out of that one gym.
Well, even Akeem. I think Akeem's great.
You're right. Yeah. I think he was originally from Jersey. Yeah. All right, Jen, was that, are we going to super chat questions now? Yep. Are you on mute again? No.
Did I do that again? I'm sorry.
You did.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. All right. So let me see. I think we got a good one coming in.
Oh.
Just 1 second. Oh, okay. We got a super chat question from Joe DeBlock. First of all, thank you, Joe. We really appreciate it. Hearing you speak about childhood abuse you suffered is inspirational. What gives you the strength to talk about it in an industry that doesn't typically embrace that level of openness?
Well, anyone that judges me based upon that or has any negative comments is, excuse my language, is an asshole. But I know that I'm not the only one. And I'm pretty sure going through what I went through, entering this industry, or even just people that work out, I know that has been probably a lot of scapegoat for people like myself. And I just like to speak upon it now and let people know that it's you can get through it. And, as long as you want to move on and let the past be the past, you can live a normal life. And I'm always here to talk to anyone about it.
Very cool. All right, Jen. Another super chat. I think you muted us again.
I'm here. Sorry about that. Yeah, let's just check for a minute, see what we got here. And I just want to thank Natalie. She's being very encouraging in our chat.
Natalie, yours is coming up soon. Don't worry. We're going to do this with Natalie, I think.
Yeah. Definitely.
Or Natalia.
What do you think, Natalia? Okay, just checking through the list here. I am going to take one more non-super chat question, and then after that, we do need super chat from the chat. So please help us by contributing to the channel or by clicking on channel membership by clicking the join button. Okay, this question is from Kevin Ghosh again. Nick, what is your favorite women's bodybuilding division?
Or women's division. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna say figure.
Okay. So when you say favorite division, is like your favorite to watch in a show, or are we being dudes and that's the look that you like the best?
I was thinking in a dude perspective.
Yeah.
I had to think like if I was gonna date someone.
Big figure's about the right size. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another dude question. Do you like the off-season look better or the shredded contest look better?
Off season, 100%.
That was easy.
Off season.
Booty gains. All right. We're doing
good ass, man.
Yeah, that's right. The shirt says it all. What else we got, Jen? You muted me again. I know you did. Every time you look at that thing, I can tell you muted me.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Okay, this comes from Dan the Fan.
Oh.
Dan the Fan asks, I know right now you're in Florida, Nick, but if you had the opportunity in the future, would you ever move to Las Vegas, and do you consider that the new Mecca for the future?
I think Flex Lewis's gym is definitely the new Mecca for Las Vegas. And I'm not sure if I would ever move there. Ever since I was a child, my dream was to move to Florida. Like I never really thought about moving to Vegas. I don't want to say that's completely out of the question, but I'm probably going to be in Florida for many, many, many years.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get the whole Vegas thing, honestly. I just don't get it. I mean,
No.
I know I did 24 hours, the casinos and all this, but it's a desert.
I'm not a person anyway, so it's like,
yeah. What's the point?
And where I live in Stuart, Florida, it's very nice, it's very peaceful, it's very chill, and that's my personality.
How far are you from the beach if you want to go to the beach?
I think 20 minutes.
Oh, well, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Ain't no beaches in Vegas, guys. Tell me.
Exactly.
Ain't nothing like that over there. So, all right, Jen, anything else?
Oh, we are checking in the chat. Let me just see. Okay, let's see. What do we got here?
Everyone in Vegas hates me now, by the way. Sorry, guys. You live in a desert, people. I can't lie.
Exactly.
It's the truth. It's hot as hell out there, too. My God.
It's not my.
You ever been there in like July or August?
Yeah.
Oof, good God.
For USA's.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I was there for the USA when Lunsford won, and every day was 110 to 120 degrees that
That's
weekend.
what it was at like my first one when I was there in 2016.
Yeah.
But it's like dry heat. So I feel like I never sweat, but I was just like, it's just so hot.
So people try to defend like places like that, saying it's dry heat. I say, you know what else is dry heat? An oven. I'm not going into an oven either.
Nope.
So, yeah.
It's very true.
Jen?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to take one more question without a super chat or member. And this is a really good question. This comes from Vincent Caballero. Vincent says to Nick, would you ever want to branch into acting? I can see you as the Hulk or a future Rambo.
Oh yeah, I've thought about that. 100%. I'd want to be like I definitely would like to do action movies, but I definitely want to do like comedy. I'm a funny guy. Feel like I'd make.
You wouldn't want to do an action movie like the old school, like the Arnold ones?
Oh no, 100% would, but I'd also want to do like a comedy too.
Yeah, true. Jen, do we have any super chat or member questions?
We don't have any super chat at this time. We already answered a lot of the super chat. But I will take. Yeah, I think I will do one more question that's not super chat or member.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so this question comes from Lars Berglund. I hope I'm saying your name right, Lars. Any injuries right now that bother you?
No. Knock on wood.
Thank goodness.
Always important to knock on wood, guys. Yeah. Cool. Well, if we don't have any super chat or member questions, Jen, I'll wrap it up.
Okay, that sounds fine. I'd like to thank everyone for their participation in chat, and thank you, Nick.
Yeah, thank you guys. Honestly, this was really fun.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nick. Looking forward to seeing you. I was very, very impressed. Your pro debut in Chicago, and I could tell already the improvements you and Matt have made since then. You're going to knock that look out of the water, and I can't wait. I want to be in the front row to see it all. Covering it for Muscular Development, guys. Make sure you check out musculardevelopment.com that whole weekend. Very important. We'll have all kinds of coverage. Cool. All right. Well, that'll wrap it up, guys. First live, Ronline. Appreciate Jen Gerisi for monitoring and doing all the tech stuff. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what the heck I'm doing. And of course, thank you, Nick. I know your time is limited and you have a lot of demands on your time, especially as we get closer to the show. So appreciate this very much.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. This was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it again.
All right. Well, we'll see you again at not the Tampa Pro, the New York Pro in Tampa. Yeah, just coming up 3.5 weeks away. So everybody, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.